sometimes doing things that are communicating safety to the nervous system. Other times you're doing things that are communicating threat to the nervous system. You're sending mixed signals. And for neuroplasticity to activate and desensitize all of your sensory triggers and also somatic or body triggers, you have to send consistent signals for your brain to form these new highways, these new pathways of safety association. Welcome. So in this video, we're going to be talking about why I don't believe in depersonalization and derealization recovery setbacks. It's a very popular phrase, and I get why people use it, but at the same time, I've shifted to where now I tell people that what you're experiencing is really not a recovery setback, and there are actually two different explanations as to why you're having these ups and downs. So with that being said, let's get into it. Now, if you are new to the channel, you don't know who I am, my name is Jordan Hardgrave. I created the Trauma Free Academy to help traumatized people experience post-traumatic growth and reclaim their life using the healing power of their own body. And if you are needing help with anxiety, panic, depersonalization, realization, emotional numbness, maybe times feeling super distorted, maybe your memory's off. I know these symptoms are really scary. I went through them myself many years ago. I would love to help you on this journey. Click that subscribe button. Share this video if it helps you. Comment. Smash the like button. Guys, there's just 10,000 things. One more thing, we're almost done. We have a brand new masterclass. I took 6 months to create this masterclass. It's free. It's called The 5 Shifts to Heal from Trauma, Anxiety, Panic, Depersonalization, Realization, Emotional Numbness. Yeah, I know the title's way too long. You can watch that if you need some help. And then also at the end, there is an invitation to apply to work with me and my team. We have a 12-week mentorship program called Rise, and people are seeing incredible results in this mentorship program. I just did an interview with Nick, who is one of the people that came through our program, and he actually was pretty much symptom-free by the time he got done. But in this 12-week mentorship, we will equip you with the tools that you need to heal from these symptoms and give you all the guidance. I have me as well as 2 other coaches, which are former clients that I helped become symptom-free years ago. Now they're just reigning in life, living their best life, and we want to help you so you can apply that. Let's get into it. Here's why I don't believe in setbacks. So number one, because if you're really getting to the root of your symptoms, which with depersonalization, realization, it's a state of nervous system overwhelm, then it's going to take time to rewire your nervous system. And the nervous system doesn't rewire all at once. All right, you have to think about it in terms of roads and highways. So whenever you think of a neural pathway in the brain, which is a connection between 2 points, I want you to think of it as like a highway. You can also think of it as like a bridge. And what's happened is you have had all kinds of painful experiences in your life, and your brain has formed these highways, these neural connections of threat association. Whether these experiences were emotionally distressing or physically painful, either way, your brain formed a neural connection of threat association because the brain registers emotional distress and physical pain as the same thing. It's the anterior cingulate cortex and the anterior insula. And so now, whenever you experience similar sensory data to those painful past experiences, you're subconsciously going to go into either fight, flight, or freeze response. And what that means for you is your body is going to start to have all these symptoms. It usually starts out as anxiety, right, which is really fight or flight response, but then it's like a snowball effect, and your body is getting full of this tension and this energy and negative emotion and fatigue because nobody ever taught you how to self-regulate, which is changing what's happening in your body, and also nobody told you how to be interoceptive, which is experiencing what's happening in your body. All this tension and all this energy and all this emotion, all this fatigue just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. And then what usually happens is there's some sort of tipping point. For me, it was a marijuana experience back in 2008. But it wasn't just the marijuana experience. I went through severe bullying for years and years and years and years. And whenever I say severe, I mean very, very, very severe. parents went through a really messy divorce. Also, right before the bad marijuana experience, I just graduated high school. Didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I didn't think I was smart, so I didn't think I had a future. Also went through a really bad breakup in high school. I dated this girl for like 3 or 4 years, and we kind of had a tough breakup, and she dated this guy that I just really didn't like. It was just all these painful experiences that had just built up. And the marijuana experience was the tipping point. It was the straw that broke the camel's back, right? I had all these sensory triggers that had built up, and my body was full of tension, energy, and negative emotion, but I didn't know how to release those things. I didn't know how to self-regulate, and I lived in my head. I obsessed over existence all the time. I remember one time, the girl that I mentioned that we broke up in high school, I was dating her at the time, and I remember saying, like, do you ever just think about how we're just like floating around on this ball in the middle of outer space? Like, do you just ever think that we're all these little humans just running around on this planet? And I'll never forget what she said. She said, no. She said, I don't think about that. But like, I started to obsess over existence. That was one way to stay in my head so I didn't have to be in my body. I also became obsessed with video games. The first game that I ever played was EverQuest. It came out in 1999, and I think I started playing it either 1999 or 2000. My stepdad, Steve, he started playing it whenever it came out. I think he did actually alpha and beta testing for it. But anyway, if you know what EverQuest is, comment below. You are my hero, because most people have never heard of that game. But I played that for like 10, 12 hours a day. I would even skip school sometimes just so I could stay home and play EverQuest. I would play World of Warcraft once that came out. I think that came out, like 2003 or something, or 4. Anyway, I was constantly in my head and escaping my body. And then I also wanted to numb my body, which is why I looked to the marijuana in 2008, because I didn't feel good. I felt terrible. But nonetheless, it all built up. And so once, I'm going to fast forward a lot, but once I finally started to get back in tune with my body again, number one, that took a while. It was very up and down. Whenever you're building interoception, which is the experience of the embodied self, it's usually not going to all happen at once. It's usually going to happen over a long period of time. You'll start to feel a little bit of what's happening in maybe your legs or your shoulders. And by the way, progressive muscle relaxation is a really great technique to build interoception. You slowly squeeze your muscles and then slowly relax them and really feel the difference between constriction and relaxation. But nonetheless, it took a while to get back into my body. And then I started to realize, oh my gosh, there's all this stuff going on. Like, how did I miss this? And I always tell people it was like a grand finale fireworks show had been going on for years and years and years, but I just didn't know it because I was up here all the time. And so I started to feel my body tensing up, and I would feel this adrenaline rush, and I would feel negative emotion, and I had to start releasing these things. But it was very up and down because our body processes things in waves. Like, have you ever lost a loved one and you have a memory of the loved one, or something just triggers the emotion, and then it'll peak and then it'll come down? It's like a wave. And then it comes again and then it goes down, and then you'll go a little while where there's no emotion, and then something will remind you of it, and then boop, the emotion peaks and then comes down. I think the body processes things in waves, so that way it's not overwhelming by being all at once. Like, if you had to release all the negative emotion that was stored in your body and all of the adrenaline that's stored in your body, all the tension that's stored in your body all at once, I think that it would be very, very overwhelming. So that's the first thing that you need to know is, if you have the right strategy, which if you don't, you need the right strategy. If you're trying to do a bunch of mind-based stuff and, acceptance and distraction, or just trying to out-logic your symptoms, you're really not getting anywhere, because those things are not powerful to rewire the nervous system in the state that you're in. Again, make sure to check out our free masterclass. I also have my S5 method, which are the 5 things that you need to do to completely rewire your nervous system, at dprecovery.com. But anyway, let's say you have the right strategy. Even whenever you're doing the things that are releasing the buildup in the body, it's going to happen in waves. And so people experience those ups and downs, and they think, oh, this is a setback. And I don't like that. People say, oh, this is a setback. I don't like that, because it makes it more stressful than what it really is. It makes people think that something is going wrong, right? This is a setback. Oh no, things are going off track. No. It's normal for everything to be up and down. All of recovery from these symptoms is up and down, up, down, up, down. It's like 10 steps forward, 15 steps back sometimes. That's how it feels. And so by saying it that you're experiencing a bunch of setbacks, it kind of over emotionalizes it. And it makes it more stressful than it already is. So that's the first reason why I don't like calling these things a setback. But the second reason that some people are having so many ups and downs as well is they're just not being consistent with the strategy. And could you imagine going to the gym for 2 months and you're consistent and you go 5 days a week, and then all of a sudden you stop going to the gym and you haven't been in like 3 weeks? And then let's say that I was a fitness coach, which clearly I am. As you can see, I'm just bulging out of this jacket right here, and you can tell by the neck, all the muscles. See right there, I'm actually going to join a neck competition very soon. That was a joke if you didn't catch it. I have a pencil neck. Turtle. Am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club? If you know what movie that's from, let me know in the comments. But anyway, but let's say I was a fitness coach and you called me up and you're like, Jordan, I'm having this setback. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, I'm just gaining fat again, or I'm losing muscle. And I'd be like, well, when's the last time you've been to the gym? Well, I went one day 2 weeks ago, and yeah, I guess I haven't been in a while. Okay, how you doing with the diet? Well, I guess I haven't really been doing it. It's like, you can't call it a setback if you're not being consistent. You don't got to be perfect to recover. You don't have to be perfectly consistent, but you do need to be consistent, because whenever you're sometimes doing things that are communicating safety to the nervous system, other times you're doing things that are communicating threat to the nervous system, you're sending mixed signals. And for neuroplasticity to activate and desensitize all of your sensory triggers and also somatic or body triggers, you have to send consistent signals for your brain to form these new highways, these new pathways of safety association. So that's the second reason why you could be having these ups and downs that is not a setback. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Stay strong. There is hope. I know that it's very difficult, but there is hope, and you can beat this. And let me know if you need my help. Talk to you soon.